You lock your cruise cabin door and walk away thinking that space is private, untouched, and completely under control. Your passport is where you left it. Your charger is still plugged in. Your suitcase is half open. Your medicine is sitting in the bathroom. It feels like your own little safe zone floating in the middle of the ocean. But the truth is, the moment you step out, that room stops being as private as you think. Staff enter. Cleaning happens fast. Items get moved. Surfaces get wiped. Corners get ignored. And everything is done to make the cabin look fresh, polished, and perfect before you return. But is it actually as clean and private as it seems? Or is that just the image cruise lines want you to believe? In this video, we're uncovering the hidden truth about cruise ship cabins, the things passengers rarely see, the details most people never question, and the secrets that could completely change the way you look at your next cruise. So let's start with Number 1. Cabin cleaning reality. Most passengers walk into a cruise cabin, see the smooth bed, clean mirrors, folded towels, and shining bathroom, and instantly believe the entire room has been deeply cleaned. But that's not how it works. On a busy ship, one housekeeper can be responsible for a huge number of cabins in a single shift. And that means time is always the real boss. The goal is not to clean every inch perfectly. The goal is to make the room look clean as fast as possible. So the visible areas get the most attention first. The bed is remade, the sink is wiped, the toilet is cleaned, the trash is emptied, and the room is reset to look fresh. But the less obvious places often do not get the same level of focus. Areas under the bed, behind furniture, remote controls, light switches, drawer handles, and phones can easily escape proper attention when the clock is working against the staff. The cabin may look spotless, but looking clean and being fully cleaned are not always the same thing. Number 2. Bed linen truth. Most people assume that everything on a cruise ship bed is completely fresh the moment they step into the cabin. The sheets look tight, the pillows look fluffy, and the whole bed gives off that clean hotel feeling. But the truth is a little less comforting. Yes, the bed sheets are usually changed between guests, and that is the part passengers notice first. But not every layer of that bed gets the same treatment every single time. Items like the duvet inside, the actual pillows, and some protective layers underneath are often rotated on a schedule instead of being replaced after every sailing. That means the bed can look perfectly fresh on the outside, while parts of it have already been used by several passengers before you. On busy turnaround days, the pressure to reset cabins quickly can make that process even more rushed. So while the bed may look spotless, that fresh feeling does not always tell the full story. What looks newly prepared is sometimes just carefully presented to feel that way. Number 3. Bathroom item secrets. The bathroom is one of the first places passengers trust without thinking twice. If the sink shines, the mirror is clear, and the towels are folded neatly, it feels safe to assume everything in that space is properly cleaned. But that confidence can be misleading. Some of the most overlooked items in a cruise cabin are the ones sitting right in the bathroom. Glasses, storage trays, and small shared-use items may look perfectly clean, but on busy turnaround days, appearance often matters more than deep sanitation. When staff are racing against the clock, those little items can get a quick rinse, a fast wipe, and be placed right back where they were. And because they look untouched, most guests never question them. The same goes for anything that is handled often but inspected rarely. That is what makes bathroom items so easy to trust and so easy to overlook at the same time. What seems clean enough to use may only be clean enough to look good. Number 4. Safe security myth. Most passengers treat the cabin safe like the one place on the ship that cannot be touched. The moment they board, they lock away passports, cash, jewelry, cards, and anything valuable, assuming it is completely secure. And on the surface, that makes sense. The safe is inside your private cabin, protected by your own code, and designed to feel like the most secure spot in the room. But the truth is, it is not as untouchable as people think. Every cruise cabin safe has an override system. Because staff need a way to open it, if a guest forgets the code or a problem comes up. That means access is never limited to just one passenger. Most of the time, nothing goes wrong, and most crew members are professional and honest. But the bigger point is simple. The safe is not absolute security. It is controlled security, and those are not the same thing. So while it is still the best place for valuables inside the cabin, it should never be mistaken for something that no one else can ever access. Number 5. Turn-down service truth. Turn-down service is designed to feel warm, personal, and a little luxurious. You come back after dinner, and suddenly, the bed is opened, the curtains are adjusted, the lights feel softer, and the whole cabin looks calm and inviting again. Sometimes there is even a small extra touch that makes it feel like someone carefully prepared the room just for you. And that is exactly the feeling cruise lines want to create. But behind that polished moment is a very rushed routine. By evening, housekeeping staff have already spent the day cleaning cabins, handling guest requests, replacing supplies, and moving from room to room without much time to slow down. So turn-down service is usually done with speed, repetition, and strict timing. It may look thoughtful and personal, but in reality it is often a carefully practiced system repeated again and again across dozens of cabins. That does not make it fake, but it does mean the experience is built more on efficiency than intimacy. Number 6. Hidden cabin issues. Some of the most uncomfortable truths about cruise cabins are not the things guests leave behind, but the problems already built into the room before you ever step inside. A cabin can look fresh, polished, and ready, while hiding issues the average passenger would never notice on day one. Small leaks can be patched instead of fully repaired. Water damage can be covered up. Bad smells can be masked. Minor mold, loose fixtures, weak ventilation, and recurring plumbing problems may be handled just enough to get the room through another sailing without raising complaints. That is what makes hidden cabin issues so unsettling. The room can appear completely normal, while the real condition sits just below the surface. And because most passengers only stay for a few days, many never have enough time to realize the problem was there at all. What matters most is that the cabin looks fine when you walk in, not that every issue has been properly fixed for the long term. On a ship, temporary solutions can last much longer than guests would ever expect. Number 7. Cabin noise problem. One of the biggest mistakes passengers make is assuming every cabin offers the same kind of rest. On a cruise ship, where your room is placed can completely change your experience. Some cabins are peaceful, while others come with noise that follows you day and night. Rooms near elevators hear constant movement, voices, and doors opening and closing. Cabins under the pool deck can get hit with scraping chairs, running footsteps, and early morning setup noise long before most guests wake up. Rooms near theaters, clubs, or busy public areas can carry music, bass, and crowd sounds late into the night. Even cabins near service zones can pick up staff activity, carts rolling by, and doors banging at odd hours. The problem is not just loud neighbors. It is the ship itself. A cruise cabin can look perfect, feel comfortable, and still rob you of sleep because of where it sits. And once poor sleep starts affecting your mood, the whole vacation can feel different. Number 8. Tipping changes everything. Most passengers think tipping is just a polite extra at the end of the cruise, something you hand over on the final day as a thank you. But inside the world of cabin service, timing matters far more than most people realize. A tip given early does not just feel generous, it changes the relationship from the start. It tells the housekeeper that this passenger notices effort, respects the work, and is likely to be easier to help. And that can affect everything that follows. Small requests may get handled faster. Extra towels, fresh ice, more supplies, or special preferences may be remembered without needing to ask twice. It is not about buying better treatment. It is about becoming someone the crew genuinely wants to take care of. On a ship, where staff are stretched across many cabins, attention naturally goes where respect is felt. That is why an early direct tip can have more impact than a bigger one handed over when the cruise is already ending. Number 9. How to get better service. The passengers who get the best cabin service are usually not the loudest, richest, or most demanding. They are the ones who make the cruise job easier from the very beginning. It starts with something simple. Treat your housekeeper like a person, not part of the furniture. Learn their name, greet them properly, and speak with basic respect. That small effort stands out more than most guests realize. It also helps to communicate early. If you want extra towels, more pillows, fresh ice, or a certain cleaning time, say it on day 1 instead of waiting until problems build up. Clear and polite requests are easier to remember and easier to fulfill. Another big difference is how you leave the cabin. It does not need to be spotless. But when the space is not covered in clutter, the housekeeper can spend more time actually cleaning instead of just tidying up your mess. Good service often comes down to simple human behavior. The easier and kinder you are to deal with, the more likely your cabin experience will feel smooth, personal, and consistently better. Number 10. Crew cabin hacks. The smartest cabin tricks often come from the very people who know cruise rooms better than anyone else. The crew. When experienced staff travel as guests, they do not just walk into a cabin and trust that everything is perfect. They check the room before fully settling in. They look around the bathroom, test a few basics, and make sure nothing feels off before unpacking. They also come prepared for the little problems regular passengers usually discover too late. Extra charging space is a big one, because cruise cabins rarely have enough outlets for phones, watches, and other devices. Simple storage tricks matter too, especially in small rooms where clutter builds fast. Crew members also make it easy on themselves by saving their cabin number right away, because after long days and late nights, even that small detail can become surprisingly easy to forget. These hacks are not fancy, but they work. They come from real experience, and they make cabin life smoother, easier, and far less stressful. A cruise cabin may look perfect, but behind that polished image is a system built on speed, routine, and pressure. That does not mean every cabin is bad. It just means smart passengers should not trust appearances too easily. Check your room, protect your valuables, choose your cabin carefully, and treat the crew with respect. The more you understand how the system works, the better your cruise experience will be. And now that you know what really goes on behind that cabin door, you will never see your next cruise cabin the same way again.